Let's start out today with a bit of fun, shall we? Courtesy of the New York City subway system, where a young female leftist and believer in the left-wing doctrine of tolerance and freedom of expression, well, she tried to rip off a guy's MAGA cap and comped an instant tariff from reality.
He won. That's why he won. That is why he won, because of people like you need to stop it. Let him live.
Bro, just like go, chill, bro.
You're okay with that? He's a racist.
How can I be racist?
He's a racist.
Okay with it?
If you voted for Trump, you're a racist.
Alright, well, this is my stuff. I hope you enjoy the hat.
Oh, she took a tackle. She just...
Wow, I haven't seen a continuous camera shot like that since Goodfellas, but judging from the reactions of other passengers, it sounds like there's more support for the First Amendment and freedom of speech in your average New York City subway car than there is on your average American university campus. Fancy that. But I'll tell you what, that young woman got me thinking, because she was a perfect example, encapsulation of what the left has become. They're no longer a political movement based on what they saw as trying to build a better world, even if the path to their utopia so often winds up strewn with blood. No, instead the left is now simply a movement based on anger, and we have, as we've increasingly seen, tearing down any and everything based on their grievance of the day. This was brought home to me by this headline, which I saw in the left-wing Sydney Morning Herald this week. It said, thanks to Trump, Canadians like me have become flag-waving patriots. Well, you know, I'm sorry, but it seems to me that if you only love your country because the bad orange man said something mean about it, well, you never really loved your country that much at all, and what you call patriotism is really nothing more than anger and resentment about Trump redirected. But then, since Trump came back to office, we have seen this phenomenon playing out everywhere. Trump has so fried the left's brains, so distorted their reality, that they will flip positions on absolutely anything, defend any evil or idiocy, simply to be on the other side of Trump. Like, I mean, remember when once upon a time, and by once upon a time I mean 2 seconds ago, driving a Tesla was the number one way to show you were hip and with it when it came to saving the planet? Well, now the left is, of course, out torching Tesla dealerships, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, remember him, the manly man who almost became America's vice president, is celebrating its share price tanking.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, you know, and take out, just telling you.
Oh, how they laughed. But what makes Waltz doubly ridiculous here, I mean, he wasn't ridiculous enough, but this is a great cell phone. His own state of Minnesota's pension and retirement fund holds 1.6 million shares in Tesla. So great work there, Governor, sharing your own pension fund's demise. Meanwhile, I think on another example, most people would think that, say, arresting illegal Venezuelan migrants who are part of one of the most deadly narco syndicate gangs in the world and kicking them out of the country, well, to say nothing of course, all the other millions of more undocumented aliens who slipped into the U.S. during the Biden administration, you'd think that once upon a time this was such Democrat orthodoxy, it was kicking them out, that Barack Obama was even talking about it on his campaign trail in 2007.
I think we should have strong border security. It doesn't make sense for us to allow hundreds of thousands of people coming through our borders without us knowing who they are.
Hundreds of thousands, try 10 million now. But, you know, again, with the left, it's one way or the other. And that was then, this is now. And in Trump's America, of course, border control is now considered, yes, racist.
The Europeans that come here that overstay their visas are undocumented, but they don't come across the southern border. So I think there's a very clear message as to what this president wants the look of a criminal migrant to look like, what an undocumented migrant. And I think that's racist.
Ah, yes, there's always a view clip, isn't there? And now, of course, a left-wing Obama-appointed judge has been trying to set up a constitutional crisis because the Trump administration didn't turn around plane loads full of Tren de Aragua gang members in the middle of the air to try and bring them back to the United States. Funny that. But again, these people claim on the left to be the real patriots. They say, oh, we're the opponents of Donald Trump. But they are backing in an agenda that is, in fact, terribly destructive of the America they claim to love because that's all they know how to do now. It was the same thing that happened, remember, at Trump's address to Congress when the Democrats were refusing to even so much as stand when Trump talked all about his achievements, closing the southern border and ending illegal immigration. Something that, again, once upon a time would have been supported by the left. Again, as I say, the left, well, right now, they're angry. They cannot be happy about anything. They cannot celebrate anything, even something that is objectively good for the country that they claim to love. But most importantly, the modern left cannot be consistent because they have ceded all their principles to the support of power. Free speech long ago gave way to cancel culture and internet censorship. Sexual liberation on the left has now become a censorious puritanism. And you can think of your own examples, I'm sure. But for a while there, the left did seem to be about building. I mean, FDR did build the Hoover Dam. JFK kicked off the project to put a man on the moon. But now that it's Elon Musk putting rockets into space and catching them with chopsticks, the left is burning the guy's cars. And that's because all the left now has is negation, destruction, and revolution, and they don't even know what they're aiming for anymore.